Welcome to the Spirit Sessions podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us where I'll help you find your true spiritual home, where every single aspect of you is holy ground, holy ground, holy ground, holy ground.
This is Spirit Session Podcast with Katie Silcox. Venga chicos, empezamos.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hi everyone, Katie here. This podcast is intended to inspire you, educate you, and most importantly, support you on your journey towards knowing who you really are, that inner self, that inner teacher. I am not a psychologist or a medical doctor and do not offer professional health or medical advice on this podcast. If you are suffering from any kind of psychological or medical issue, please do the right thing and seek help from your qualified health professional. I am always so happy to be here with the Shakti School. It's so fun to see your faces, Cynthia, Leanne, Dawn, Sarah's here. If you're new to us, Sarah is our program manager. She's the house mom and official principal of the Shakti School, secret highest level priestess sorority. So we're just super grateful for her. And I'm Katie Silcox. I am the lead teacher of Ayurveda School and the founder of the Shakti School. We do one thing really, and that is a year-long program that can turn into a 2-year-long program that on one hand is a training program that teaches you how to be an Ayurvedic health coach. And I see Cynthia smiling, Leanne smiling, these knowing little smiles, because these are recent grads and it's so much more than that. It's Lady Life School. It is Lady Church. It is Spirit Church. And I know that may bring up some ideas of religion, and definitely we aren't that, but just to have a place to come, to meditate, to heal, to feel, to be in a community of like-minded women. Today's topic is the divine feminine. And I chose that topic for today's informational, quote, free webinar. This really is an intentional webinar, just to help you guys get to know me and our school and our approach. And in coming up with the topic, I really was inspired by our recent graduation of level 1. We graduated these women several weeks ago, and we give the women at the end of the year an opportunity to share their hearts. And what kept coming up over and over and over again from everyone there was the most important thing the school gave me was a connection to the feminine. The most important thing this course helped me do was reconnect to the divine feminine, to the inner divinity, feminine, divine feminine, feminine. And I thought, wow, okay, like that matters. And of course, that's always been my intention, but to hear it through the voices of the women who've actually done this whole course, it was really inspiring to me. I was recently on a podcast where the host introduced me as a maven of the divine feminine. And I think that might be the most wonderful compliment I've ever been given, and also super, super humbling. And I don't consider myself a master of anything, but really a practitioner. I am a lover of prana. What is prana? Prana is the divine feminine. What is prana? Prana is life. It's energy. The word Ayurveda is so often translated as life wisdom, but what it really is it's feminine wisdom. The word Ayur means life, but what is life? Life is the capacity to create more life. Life is life inside every plant, every rock, every baby, every puppy, and every human heart. So the divine feminine has absolutely nothing to do with what sex you were born as, but our ancient foremothers have been saying this from the top of the globe to the bottom of the globe. Women are the gatekeepers of life and death. If you've ever had a baby, you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever helped someone die and sat by their side and watched that happen, you know what I'm talking about. Women have been the gatekeepers and fire tenders of the medicinal tradition since time began. We are the ones that sat around the bonfire whipping up a little berry herbal remedy for our baby. We are the ones that made the first chicken soup of the soul. We are the ones that understand death because we understand birth. We are the ones that understand bliss because we're the ones that understand pain. Now, I had a boyfriend once tell me that he passed a few kidney stones and that his doctor said, you know, that's as painful as childbirth. But there's something in me that thinks I beg to differ. There's something about being these keepers of the hearth of nutrition when you have a baby, putting it to your chest to be able to feed it. While you may not do this on the actual realm, I personally have never had a human baby in this lifetime. None have come through my body. I am a mama. I'm looking at Sarah. So is she. And it's an energy. What is the energy of the feminine? It is, I can look around and see what's needed, right? I can look and I can see what hurts, baby. Let me bring the remedy. I can feel that beautiful core message of the feminine, which is, I will take care of you. Now, I want to say it like this. We are probably, I don't know, 70 to 99% full of people who are really tired of taking care of everyone else. And so this school is a place that opens our big arms, that holds a container and a structure, and yes, a masculine energy of modules and syllabuses, and yes, even quizzes every now and then, but that all of that structure, all of that professorial nature is in the service of you feeling like you get to be the feminine. You get to rest because we've got you. For 3 hours a week, Ayurveda Wednesday, you get to be the one that can receive. You get to be the one that can be held. And so often I know for myself, that superpower of the divine feminine, which doesn't like to be defined, by the way, and I'll do my best to define it, but you'll have to feel it for yourself. And that is openness, open-heartedness, tenderness, a gaze that can look on other people with compassion and care, receptivity, emptiness. All of these are descriptors, right, of what it might feel like to you. We can also relate the divine feminine to our intuition. And this is huge at Shakti School. While we will give you all the Ayurveda tools that exist, what's my dosha? I don't know, but you're going to figure it out, right? Maybe by the end of the year. What foods should I be eating? What herbal remedies should I be taking? What type of oil should I be putting on in my body? And on and on and on. And that's only the most superficial level. What will coexist beside all the quote rules of Ayurveda and good techniques of Ayurveda, what coexists beside that, which is beyond more important, and that is a practice that will enable you to just clear the dust that is built up over your lifetime, or maybe many lifetimes, that's preventing you from being able to perceive who you really are and what you really are. And when we're able to do that, as we were saying last week in our membership club, you get to access this Sanskrit word called prajna. Prajna is a huge part of the divine feminine. And that word, P-R-J-N-A, means wisdom. The divine feminine is life wisdom. Nobody tells the beautiful greenery outside your window how to grow. Nobody tells the squirrel, hey, girl, you better go get fat and get your nuts. Winter's coming. Nobody's instructing. There's no like Ayurveda course for animals. They are living it. They are the divine feminine incarnate. And you and I are just like them, but our culture and our upbringing has overvalued the very beautiful masculine, which is more of our logical side, our cognitive mind. Are anybody out there find that they can't stop their thoughts? That's the over-engaged, immature masculine. The immature masculine in all of us says, there's a problem. I need to run and fix it and do something. I don't need to worry about the consequences. Fix it now. Do it now. Now, we're not talking about any groups or any people in particular. We are looking at this inside our own selves in the school. How quickly do we rush to judge ourselves? How quickly do we run to call ourselves out? How fast do we go to war with ourselves? This is the immature masculine. The immature masculine thinks that it can think its way out of its issues. How's that going for us, right? If I can just think enough, I can solve this problem. And so one of my teachers used to say, all of us are working to mature the masculine inside of us, right? And the immature masculine is clever, but it's not smart. You know what a clever person does? A clever person says, hey, look over there at that mountain. Let's get rid of all the trees and build some condos, and then we'll sell them and make a lot of money. That's a clever idea. Whoa. That's not wisdom, because maybe they didn't realize that that tree-covered mountain was actually providing the oxygen that the whole community needed to breathe, was actually purifying the air of the toxins that another clever masculine had put into the air earlier on. The wise masculine attempts to understand from a place of having touched so deeply into the quiet recesses of her own heart. That's wisdom. Wisdom is never wrong. Often when you ask the question that you think is such a big problem in your life to this quiet inner heart of feminine wisdom, the question disappears. How many of you ever found that when you just get calm and you just get quiet, a lot of the things that we're so worried about or so in a hustle over fall to the wayside in the light of wisdom? And so in this school, we are attempting to have a harmonious relationship with the masculine. We are not a school that's only feminine wisdom. That would be crazy, crazy making. The feminine needs the masculine structure to flow through. The masculine needs the feminine's love to give it a reason to do anything at all. The ancient teachings of Ayurveda and the Vedas in general say that Shiva, the divine masculine, is dead without his feminine counterpart. She is what animates him. She is what gives things life. And she is the embodiment of love in action. You can be full of love and not serving in any way. So one of the things that we're really passionate about here too is having a forum for you to be able to figure out the unique way that you're meant to show up and serve. And we often refer to this sometimes as life purpose, but really it's about uncovering that natural love and letting that love really inform the natural abilities that you have in the world. All of you here have them. Now we're 70 women in the room and we have hundreds that will watch this later. And what I can assure you is finding your purpose has nothing to do with your job. It's how you show up in your job. You can be the most blissed out, happy front desk worker. I was telling the gals last week or the week before, I think it was New Year's, that I met the most incredible Shakti field person. And it was a guy at the front of Costco who every single person that walked in, he blasted them with love. He blasted them with a smile and it moved through his whole body. That's the feminine in action. And he inspired me, right? I want to be like him. You may not think that your guru is waiting for you at the front door of Costco, But that's where angels often show up. And I'm brought to tears because if I hadn't have done a lot of work on my own little heart, I may not have had the eyes to even be able to see them. So this school is about you clearing away anything that is preventing you from seeing the love that's already here, already done, already given, to open yourself to be able to actually receive what's here. That doesn't mean that we shy away from hard stuff at Shakti School, right, Cynthia? Right? So a big part of this training is that we open our hearts to be able to move into the mantra of the feminine. Are you ready for it? Let's start with the mantra of the masculine. The mantra of the masculine is, oh shit, there's a problem. Let me get to solving it. Go, go, go. Do, do, do. You better get that master's degree. You better get that PhD. You better just make a to-do list and don't rest. Definitely don't fall asleep. You need to stay on to get the problem solved. Now that's freaking awesome if your house is on fire, right? But it's not great if we're only operating from that place. 50% of the time, or maybe even 51, we need to be in the mantra of the feminine, which is, you are not a problem to be solved. Your feelings aren't a problem. I'll say that again. Your feelings aren't a problem. Your weird thoughts aren't a problem. Your messed up relationship you're in right now is not a problem. Your gas and bloating, I know some of you are here for that. That's not a problem. And one of my teachers says, especially the part of you or parts of you that you find the most ick and intolerable, those especially aren't a problem. And when we begin to orient towards ourselves in that way, we open up this huge energetic field. Some have called the healing vortex. Some have called this open arm divine mother. We open ourselves into something that can actually have enough spaciousness and room to be able to invite in something new. One of the central premises of Ayurvedic medicine and that we lean into in this school is that prana, in other words, energy, life force, health, cannot flow through tension. Your love, your life force, your health, just the physiological part of it. Let's go down there. Have you noticed that if you're all stressed out, it affects your elimination? Some people, when they travel, like they can't go to the bathroom at all for a few days or the whole time. Right. That's just a really dense, gross example, right? When we are out of our habit and out of our pattern and in stress, energy can't go anywhere, right? We can apply this to everything. Have you ever tried to forgive someone? I'm going to just sit here and I'm going to meditate until I forgive my dad or my brother or my ex. I will forgive today. And we can't. Why? Because forgiveness is the end result of having wisdom. Forgiveness is a natural outpouring of having seen with compassion the plight of the other. When we understand the suffering of the one that harmed us, we actually liberate ourselves from keeping them on the hook of our unforgiveness. We say this over and over at Shakti School. Our school isn't therapy, but it sure is therapeutic. Our school is a wonderful adjunct for therapy, for Western medical system. We love our doctors and nurses and military women that come to the school. We have CEO moms. I mean, I'm looking at Cynthia. She's in the fashion industry in New York. And we have incredible women who are like I was, a yoga teacher making $0, who found Ayurveda and learned that it was such a powerful portal that none of my neighbors knew about. We have women who want to do this program because they want to heal themselves. And we have women who do this because they want to make a change in their career. And both of those are valid reasons. And some people come for both reasons. What makes our school super unique is that while we absolutely honor, love, and bow before the tradition of Ayurveda, we follow what the tradition says. which is, and here comes the feminine, you have to evolve the tradition. Otherwise, it'll die. I know that if our Indian foremothers and forefathers were here, they would be so excited about a Vitamix. I know that they would just get excited about an infrared sauna. I know it because we are them. We are them. And so we here at Shakti School, we want to share the ancient traditions. And we're also going to share some of the medical, scientific, Western ideas about how these two systems are not in competition. You don't have to choose between science and spirit. You get to live with both. And I think that is what makes us really, really unique. Here's the most important thing about this school. There are no gurus. None. You know, and I'm looking at the front row. I usually start each class by telling you guys a little bit about how, you know, not like to make it about me or anything, but just, hey, this has been hard for me. And here's how I came out of it. Or this is hard for me and I'm in it still. I am very much aware of the fact that I am so lucky to be able to be a teacher in Shakti School because I get to have the reminder for me every week. Our teachers are normal people, just like you. And why that is so great is that they're going to have compassion for the fact that you have a job, you have a life. Many of you cannot spend 4 to 8 hours a day doing all the Ayurveda routines and meditations, right? Some of you can, and we are like, wow, welcome. But a lot of you have jobs, you have kids, you have puppies, you have lives, right? You have a lot going on. And so we help you because we are you. I always say this, our teachers are smart plus heart, because these are my teachers and mentors that I've handpicked from all around the world to be your teachers, because they are so, so smart. But smart alone is only half of the equation. They also have heart. They are some of the most compassionate, awake humans on the planet. And as women, they are very, very tuned to the reality of women. Lastly, what makes this school so amazing is that we believe with every bone in our bodies that if you give women the time and the space and the tools to heal, they will come up with their own unique medicine. And it happens in class 1, day 1, right? It does. And why? Because you just say, hey, let's do this breath practice. Let's put our hand on our heart. Let's just feel safe enough to get our mind quiet for a moment. And then we ask the question, what do I really need? The answer comes. And nobody can tell you that. It comes from within and from below. And so I love watching that. It's my greatest passion to see the way that the divine feminine moves through all of you during this course. Shocking things happen. Beautiful surprises happen. And also you get a lot. In fact, one of the biggest feedbacks that we get every year is this is so much. So we are definitely going to give you more than your money's worth of practices, tools, time. We have every single week Ayurveda Wednesday where you'll meet with me and the other teachers for 3 hours of live class. But we also have Laurel, our secret weapon and love weapon. Laurel is a certified Ayurvedic practitioner. She is just a total maven of Ayurveda. She's brilliant and wise, but she is also really knows her stuff. And so you get to meet with her twice a month to have any feedback and Q&A with her. We have a world-class administration staff. They're here right now. Kirsten's here and Sarah's here. We have Eva and a lot of people in the background doing this work on the admin level. And again, the feedback we get from our students is they answer my emails. They're so nice. And you know, that takes a lot of training to be able to work with people on that level. And so we really do our best here to take your journey seriously. So on that note, let's just leave aside Shakti School for a moment. And, of course, we're doing this webinar because we want to introduce you to our program. And we found that doing these small webinars are a way that you can meet me and meet our approach. And so that's all happening, right? But the bigger container is so much more than just our year-long program, which, by the way, it starts now, coming up January 17th. So get in. So you guys get it, right? We are a business, and we are going to teach you how to create your own Ayurveda health coaching business as well. We believe and love living in reality. And I would love if every woman that did Shakti School, and we talked about this in, I think, the second or third class, we teach you by the end of the year how you can set up a 10-pack coaching session where you can literally make the money back that you invest in the program in 10 sessions. And so we really do believe in the power of this program. And that, I mean, that if you put the effort in, this program will pay for itself if health coaching is something that you want to be involved in. There's no more rewarding career, right, than helping others. But it's bigger than that. If you never come to Shakti School and you never do Ayurveda School, we want to welcome you into this experience today and into this community. The message and the mission is much, much bigger than our product. It's the desperate need that we all have to learn how to tap in to this silent, loving, present, kind heart. So we've got a few minutes left. So now that I've got my sales pitch out, what is the divine feminine for real? I think the 74 of you that are here today and the hundreds of you that will watch this later might be able to resonate with the fact that you were born into a mom and a dad that were either totally cuckoo or just a little bit cuckoo. All of us were born into a mom and a dad with their issues. Now, if you were one of these rare beings that got like a really good mom and dad, like, yay, right? And I know some of you are here, but the reality is that if you are called to do something like Shakti School, you probably have a lot of the archetype of Chiron. Who's Chiron? Chiron is the wounded healer. Raise your hand if you feel you might be just a little bit of that, right? I got a little bit of a wound, and that wound is actually propelling me to want to study something and learn about something so that I can do what? Remove suffering from my life. There are 74 of you here. I guarantee it might be all 74 of us. There is a little bit of that archetype of the wounded healer. And so when I speak about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, what I'm really speaking about is learning how to understand the way that the mom and dad that we were born with, while we can love them and be grateful to them and be respectful to them, we're not able to provide us with the true energy of mothering and fathering in the purest of those senses. And that the journey of the hero or the heroine in this lifetime is to be able to learn how to forgive our birth mother and birth father. And for some of you, that may mean you don't even see them. They might not even be alive anymore, but that we're able to move out of that very normal longing for mom and dad to give us the divine mothering and divine fathering that we didn't get. And here's the rub. No one is perfect. If you were born out of a human, you're not going to have perfect divine mothering and divine fathering. And so on a bigger level, why we work with those energetics of divine mother is that divine mother is always available because she is in you. She is you, and she's all around you. And so we move from this individual archetype of me, Katie Silcox, born in 1980 in Abingdon, Virginia, to Larry and Vera, who didn't know what they were doing either, right? I moved from that, which is my story, to something else that says there is an endless reservoir of unconditional love that is available for me, to me, and to you, that is the archetype of the universal mother. The universal mother is that thing that we talked about in the beginning that brings her care to her children. And so, yes, there is an aspect of the school that is of an emotional and spiritual nature. And I really think that's what makes it really, really special. So we've got a few more minutes left, and I want, as promised, to give you an experience of what are these archetypes of divine mother and divine father? No, there's absolutely nothing religious about this. We could even speak of this on a very physiological and neurological level. The divine father is the one who can be present to you. And the divine mother is the one that loves you. Presence and love at the highest level are what we all are longing for. We think we are going to get it from the outside, from the latest fashion trend, or maybe the next guy that you want to manifest, into your life. Maybe you want your husband to be better to you, or your girlfriend to be better to you. You want to lose 10 pounds or gain 10 pounds. You want a Brazilian butt lift, or you want a Brazilian bikini wax, or I don't know why the Brazilians are so beautiful and have like the market on this stuff. But we think that if we just get that outer thing, then that inner thing is going to feel what it wants to feel. So what we realize as we traverse this lifetime is that that never tends to work out, and we're always left with the hole. And my teacher used to say the God-shaped hole. At this school, we don't invite you to have any type of relationship with the God word, but what we do invite you to do is to have a relationship with the part of your own mind that can show up for you no matter what, and to teach ourselves how to stay with ourselves. And in that presence and staying, maybe we can add in that next critical element, which is no matter what you do, no matter how many freaking cupcakes or glasses of wine you drank last night, no matter how much you mess it up, like, I love you unconditionally. For me, no matter how many therapy sessions you've done on this one issue and you're still there, right? I got you. So presence is the matured masculine, and love unconditionally is the matured feminine. And in this school, we talk a lot about the feminine because we're women and we think that that part has been grossly underrepresented. But truly, we could call this a divine masculine and feminine school, where we're looking to mature and open that potentiality within ourselves. So if it feels right, I'd love to invite you into a very short practice that'll give you just a little taste of working with both your life force, your prana, your energy, as well as this formula of presence and love. And so just take a moment to let your eyes soften, and if you feel good, I'd like for you to just close your eyes. Setting aside the fact that you're on a Zoom call for a free webinar, just letting that sit to the side, just remembering that every moment is a sacred moment and a holy moment and a portal that is potentially open into great, great healing. Today's just as sacred as any other, letting ourselves open as we relax the body and feeling and imagining that you can move honey. Visualize honey, the color of honey, golden or amber, above your head. The quality of honey, the sweetness of honey. Letting it move from above your head, and imagine, although when we work with energy, it starts to actually move. Imagine it's coming down to the cranial bones and the skull. Feeling it drop down into the brain. And you'll notice it's some places in my body it's easier to feel and imagine that. In other places I might feel a block or a numbness or a sense of constriction. And when you find that, remember nothing is a problem. Moving it down through the brainstem into your throat. And this golden color of honey you can think of as inviting this loving soul, this true you, back down into your shoulders and through your arms into your hands. And you may even just pray or say, like, I invite the real me to come back home into my body. Dropping it down through the chest cavity, the heart, and behind you into the shoulder blades. Letting the honey, you may start to get visualizations of the honey moving itself down in different patterns and swirls down through the solar plexus, remembering the front of you, the back of you, and all sides. Honey, the color of gold, feel that presence and love dropping down into the lower back, buttocks, the front of the pelvis, from your belly button downward, all the way to the sit bones and the tailbone, all through your reproductive organs, this inner thighs. Just taking a moment there. Pure love and presence. The honey color, the honey texture. Inviting the real you, the true you, dropping down through the legs. You can go one at a time, or you can do both. Come back home. Come back in and down. And for the next minute and a half or so, just feeling that downward waterfall of honey, that you can sit underneath it, resting. You can invite in a little bit more openness and relaxation. Nothing is a problem to be solved. And yet there's this part of us that's directing our attention and being quite disciplined in a way. Okay, so here's the wonderful last part of this practice now. And if it helps for me, sometimes I like to put my hands like flat on my heart, on my chest, not the physical, although that's nice as well, but just that center that is the front of the heart chakra. Whether you guys come that are new to Shakti School, work with us for a year, it matters not. But I want you to visualize out in front of you. If I were to be in like a year-long apprenticeship with some mavens, with some real spirit mama mavens, if I were to, whether I sign up or not, but just feeling maybe yourself kind of connecting into this web of all the women all over the world that are longing to awaken their presence and their love, if I were to able kind of put that out in front of me as an intention, and if it's not your intention, certainly don't do it. But if it is, you can maybe place it out in front of you. And then whatever your intention is, you can hold it out in the front body. The front body, imagining that, and soon you'll just sort of feel it. The front body is the material world. This is the world of our emotional reactivity, of everything we're doing out in the world of cause and effect. And then the back body is the world of the limitless, the immaterial, the etheric. And so taking a moment to just let your heart send energy to your intention out in front of you. Remember, if you wander off into the realm of overthinking or thinking in general, you just ring a little bell and come back to the front, setting that intention out in front of the heart. Good. Now that will stay there out in front of us. This is like manifesting 101. We all want to do this, and we all do this, right? Like, here's what I want, it's out in front of me. But now here's the missing piece. And this is where the divine feminine comes in, because the divine feminine is magic. It's that which you didn't see coming. It's the way that things showed up in a way your ego never could have planned for. It is miracle, matter, magic, mama. Now let your attention go through your body, go to the back of your body, go to the spine at the level of your heart. And you can squeeze your shoulder blades together a little bit if you're like, what am I doing, right? If you're new to this, just squeeze your shoulder blades together and then relax. Now that's the back of your body, but that's the center of your heart. The center of your energetic heart is the back of the heart in the body. And now travel and try a little less hard. Let go of any feeling of, am I doing this right? Do I know what is she talking about? Like that, just let that go to the side and just feel. You're not doing anything. You're just noticing what's behind you. Travel your awareness. Take your mind back behind your body as far as you can imagine. This is the realm of the unmanifest, the miraculous, and the divine template for you, the highest DNA, the highest template for your dreams, for your relationships, for your body, your health, your bank account, whatever it is. This is the realm of that which has not yet happened, but that may want to be born. And let your mind travel all the way back. And then maybe it starts to want to wrap itself around you, kind of like angel wings, and come back to the front. So now the practice to close is we're bringing our attention from the front of us through the heart to the back of the body, go behind you, wrap the angel wings or the energy, however you want to see it, in front of you to the front intention. We take the front intention, we go back to the heart, we go far behind the physical body, we wrap around maybe like angel wings or whatever appears for you, and that comes back to the front. Inhaling and exhaling if it helps you as a practice, just spending a few minutes here, letting the body be a magnet for the material in front of you and the magic behind you. Good. In this way, your body, when I say body, I mean all of you, your physical body, your energy body, your mental body, your spiritual body, you, the individual, starts to become a little bit of a magnet and a lightning rod for good things to come to you. And when I say good things, I mean the things that are going to support the evolution of your heart. You may not get the $1 million or the hunky boyfriend or, the Ferrari. That may or may not come. But when we are able to rest in this heart between that which is unmanifest and the manifest, we're able to pull towards us that which serves the soul. So this last inquiry, if you want, again, placing the hands on the heart, if that's helpful, we feel we're maybe hopefully a little more quiet, a little more full of love, a little more full of light, which are our innate natures, all of us. And we can ask that light this question, moving forward the next day, the next week, what would be healing medicine for me? Oh, great inner light, show me, teach me. What would be a good medicine? And usually the answer will just come, and we have to learn to trust it. Good. When you're ready, you can just gently open the eyes and we'll start to make our way back. So nice to be in these practices of energy. It's a wonderful way of meditating. I almost forgot I was on a Zoom call with you guys. It's a wonderful practice to work with our energy, which is the feminine, because I didn't really tell you to stop thinking ever, right? And yet the mind gets a little bit more stable and calm when we give it something to do. So this is a tiny taste of that. I just thank you all for being here in this class today. We've got such a great team of people. We realize that the investment in the school is a good commitment, and so if you want to talk to a real live human woman who has done the school, all of it, then you can book a clarity call with one of them. They have room for you, but the spots are going fast. We tend to get like half of our student body signs up like the last 48 hours of, it's always really fun for us. It's like, I call it the Ayurveda of Las Vegas, the Las Vegas of Ayurveda, right? It's like, let's see who shows up. So please don't wait till the last minute, but you can always sign up last minute. We want to have you if it's meant to be for you. A big special thanks to Kevin Carlisle of Goodbye Gemini, who wrote this beautiful podcast music, and to DJ Juan Pablo Jimenez in southern Spain for mixing it and making it magic.